Comings and goings on the Hillary Clinton bandwagon. While some Democrats rallied to her defense in the email scandal, others may be working on plans to replace her in the presidential race. This is Special Report. Good evening. Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. Some very familiar names are being tossed around tonight as Democrats in various states of anxiety over the Clinton email crisis dare to consider presidential politics without Hillary Clinton. That concern is fueled by a seemingly non-stop supply of stories, leaks, and speculation about whether Clinton deliberately tried to hide evidence and whether any of it can be recovered. We have Fox team coverage tonight of the 2016 race. Carl Cameron's at the Iowa State Fair with Jeb Bush on the soapbox and other candidates on the way. Rich Edson surveys the Democratic field for some possible additional challengers to Hillary Clinton. But we begin with senior political correspondent Mike Emanuel with tonight's new information. And Mike?
Well, Brett, good evening. An attorney representing the technology company that managed Hillary Clinton's private server told Bloomberg it is blank and doesn't contain useful data, but did say the material was migrated to another server that still exists. Since then, the attorney has not responded to calls or emails.
Thank you.
The Associated Press was first to report the two top-secret emails on Hillary Clinton's private server include a news article about the CIA drone program operating in places like Pakistan and a separate conversation that could point back to highly classified information. Today, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee said anybody handling sensitive intelligence is aware they must protect America's secrets.
You can't have one thing for higher-level people and another standard for lower-level people. The law has to be applied equally across the board, and obviously, if the law has been violated, prosecution should be sought.
California Democrat Dianne Feinstein, vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, is defending Clinton, saying, quote, "First, none of the emails alleged to contain classified information were written by Secretary Clinton." Feinstein added, second, none of the emails alleged to contain classified information include any markings that indicate classified content. But a Republican member of the Benghazi Select Committee says Clinton would know sensitive top-secret material when she sees it.
Hillary Clinton herself is one of the classifiers under the law, under an executive order by President Obama. She's one of 20 people who was given authority by President Obama to classify things as secret, classified, and so forth.
Republican presidential candidate Carly Fiorina is calling for someone to be held accountable.
It now appears that this server has been with some IT company in New Jersey since 2013. I'm pretty sure they scrubbed it thoroughly, but it reminds me of the old adage, the cover-up is always worse than the crime.
A new Fox News poll reveals 58% believe Clinton knowingly lied when she said emails on her server didn't contain classified information, while 33% say there's another explanation. And 54% of those surveyed say Clinton put our national security at risk by using a private email server. Late today, Judicial Watch complained about the State Department's response to its lawsuit, calling it woefully deficient, misleading, and contemptuous on the issue of complete disclosure about the email systems of Clinton and her former top aides. The group is accusing the Obama administration and Clinton of joining hands in this email scandal. Brett?
All right, Mike, we'll stay on it. Thank you. Well, you already know Bernie Sanders has made some serious headway into Hillary Clinton's lead, once considered insurmountable. But there are others who may be thinking of taking her on. Correspondent Rich Edson goes down the list tonight.
The 1992 campaign reunion tour could be adding another name to Clinton and Bush. Gore. Allies of former Vice President Al Gore are figuring out if there's a path for him to run. That, according to a report in BuzzFeed. As for the prospect of another Bush-Gore election, the 2000 victor's brother and current GOP candidate says the Gore speculation is an indication Democrats are searching for an alternative to their frontrunner.
My first reaction was really, I don't know. I mean, look, he's qualified. There's a lot of disarray in the Democratic Party. Most of the focus, it seems to me, is on our race, which is pretty wild and woolly as well. But when you have the presumptive frontrunner, dominating and all of a sudden losing to Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire and race tightening in other places, I'm sure that people like Joe Biden and Al Gore are seriously considering it. But what do I know?
Our Hours after that report, a Gore spokeswoman reportedly told Politico there is no truth to rumor the former vice president is considering a run. The current vice president, however, is. Vice President Joe Biden has hired 2 longtime confidants with campaign experience as advisors. And following his high-profile negotiations with Iran on its nuclear program, speculation about Secretary of State John Kerry is emerging. All this complicating a once-considered certainty, the nomination of former Secretary of State and Senator Hillary Clinton. A Wall Street Journal poll shows 48% of likely voters view Clinton unfavorably, compared with 37% who view her favorably. In June, that poll showed more likely voters viewed her favorably to unfavorably, 44-40. Still, Clinton maintains a sizable lead nationally over her competition.
Right now, she has a really big lead nationally in the Democratic primary, and she has got a really big lead in Iowa. We have seen the polls a little bit closer in New Hampshire. Of course, you do have a senator from Vermont running, so that may not be surprising.
A Fox News poll taken earlier this month shows Clinton with a 51-22 lead over Senator Bernie Sanders and an even larger lead over an undeclared Joe Biden. The vice president says he'll decide whether to run again for president by the end of this summer. Brett?
More on this with the panel. Rich, thank you. Summer in Iowa. Well, it means the state fair, among other things, and every 4 years that means a parade of presidential candidates trying to show off their down-home sides to the folks in the heartland. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron is at the state fair in Des Moines tonight.
Flanked by the state's 2 Republican U.S. senators, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush was mobbed arriving first thing this morning at the Iowa State Fair and immediately dismissed all the hype about Donald Trump.
We're just the beginning of this. People, a majority of Iowans haven't even begun to consider who they're going to support.
While 2/3 of Iowa Republicans say they're undecided, Trump is still way ahead in the polls and has a well-paid campaign team headed by Chuck Laudner, who organized Rick Santorum's 2008 caucus win.
We are not only going to have a 99-county operation, a 1,700-plus precinct operation, but we're expanding that base, bringing in some people, and hopefully we can keep them in the party, keep them motivated, and part of something big, part of something special.
But Bush says he's not concerned.
So I'm not distracted by the, oh my gosh, this week, something's happening and we're supposed to be all, oh, I'm so worried. No.
It's the right way to go.
In Davenport yesterday, Bush left open the possibility of reinstating waterboarding as an enhanced interrogation technique to combat terrorism.
When you're president, your words matter, and I'm cautious about making commitments without having all the facts, because this is a serious undertaking. I do think, in general, that torture is not appropriate. It's not as effective.
But 2 months ago, on his first full day as an announced candidate, he was asked about enhanced interrogation and said halting them was appropriate.
If we needed enhanced interrogation?
I don't think that's necessary.
You don't? Why?
Because I don't think we need it. I don't think we need it. It's not the law.
Today, he clarified, saying waterboarding is an enhanced interrogation technique and not torture.
Torture's different than enhanced interrogation techniques. Those are legitimate.
Shifting into a higher gear in advance of the campaign's post-Labor Day acceleration, Senator Marco Rubio focused on foreign policy as part of several major speeches in the weeks ahead.
I will invite Cuban dissidents, Iranian dissidents, Chinese dissidents, and freedom fighters from all around the world to be honored guests at my inauguration.
With polls showing Trump, Ben Carson, and Carly Fiorina surging, all 3 say it's because they are not Washington insiders.
People are tired of professional politicians. People are tired of politics as usual. Whatever your issue, whatever your cause, whatever festering problem you hoped would be resolved, the political class has failed you.
And tomorrow it is the frontrunners. Hillary Clinton is expected at the fairgrounds around 10:30 Central Time. Donald Trump, by chopper, is expected to arrive here around 12:30. Buckle up at the State Fair, Brett.
Carl, is it true that Trump has offered rides on his chopper?
Well, not to me, but we'll see tomorrow. There's no question about it. It's going to have a big gold T on the side of it, and he'll be flying the Lear, his jet, to Des Moines Airport. Trump Air is getting a lot of miles these days.
Plus the butter cow. All right, Carl Cameron at the Iowa State Fair. Carl, thanks. Up next, the major controversy over reopening the U.S. Embassy in Cuba. First, here's what some of our Fox affiliates around the country are covering tonight. Fox 5 in New York, where a 6-hour standoff ends with a reputed street gang member dead. 48-year-old Garland Tyree posted on his Facebook page, "Today I die." He set off a smoke grenade at a house in Staten Island. After saying he would surrender, he opened fire on police, who then killed him. One firefighter was shot twice in the leg. Lieutenant James S. Hayes is expected to recover. Fox 16 in Little Rock, Arkansas, where Governor Asa Hutchinson says he's ending the state's Medicaid payments to Planned Parenthood after seeing those undercover videos about the alleged selling of fetal body parts. Federal health officials have already warned other states that withdrawing that funding could violate the law. And this is a live look at Cleveland from our affiliate out there, Fox 8. The big story there tonight, a teacher has been killed after entering a restricted area underneath a roller coaster to look for a lost cell phone. Authorities say James Young dropped his phone during a ride on the Raptor. That's tonight's live look outside the Beltway from Special Report. We'll be right back.